Halle Berry just finished shooting a movie, done shooting. Supposed to go to Netflix, so we call the Mothership. And Netflix, after the film is finished shooting, has canceled it. Done. Now, this, of course, has been something we've been seeing a bunch of lately, right? Obviously, there was the big, obvious one with the Batgirl situation. Then there was the Scooby-Doo situation. There's been one or two other smaller ones. And now this Halle Berry one. This one comes to us from Screen Rant, who writes the following. Netflix has canceled the Halle Berry science fiction movie, The Mothership. The movie, which was written and directed by Matthew Charman and starred Berry. The movie, which was shot in 2021, followed Sarah Morse, Halle Berry, and her children who discover that an alien object beneath their farmhouse may be linked to the disappearance of Sarah's husband. The reason for the cancellation is the movie's extended post-production process, with those concerned determining that the movie, quote-unquote, could not be completed. Let me interpret that for you. We don't think this movie's worth it. And because we're a streaming service, the movie's not actually going to make any money for us. And we don't want to spend, they came back to us and said it was going to cost more for post-production than we originally thought. And we don't think it's worth it to put up the money to finish post-production. So we're just going to let it die. That's the interpretation. And look, this is part of the reality of the streaming formula. The streaming paradigm is right now, until more and more, 40% of new subscribers, but it's still right now a tiny percent of subscribers are subscribed to the ad tier. So they can put this on Netflix, don't put it on Netflix. It's not going to make them any money. So Netflix is now saying, well, this movie shot almost 3 years ago. And now they're saying they need a little bit more money for post-production. And we don't think it's worth it. And they pulled the plug. It's a business decision. And I know, look, I know everybody's going to say, Halle deserves to have the movie finished and everybody worked on it. But at the end of the day, it's their money. Like for you, if you hire a bunch of contractors to work on your house and then you suddenly decide you don't want the new, deck in the backyard. Yep. I mean, those contractors have worked long and hard, but it's your money. It's your house. If you don't want it, you don't want it. But
you know what? Your neighbors deserve to see that deck and to decide for themselves.
That's right. The neighbors deserve to see the deck, and they should be the ones to decide. Nah, if it's your money, it's your money, and they didn't want to put up the money. And unfortunately, I said when the Batgirl thing happened, I said you're going to see more of this happening. As the realities of the streaming paradigm manifest themselves, this is going to happen more and more.
And I read the synopsis right now, and what a bummer, man! It sounds like such a good premise for a movie. Like I at least interests me.
Now I'm sure Netflix will let them go and shop it around to see if somebody else wants to pay for it, but we'll see what happens there. Anyway, Chris, this is becoming a bit of a trend.
Yeah.
We're seeing this more and more. Again, it's a film that wasn't completed, but all the shooting was done. And anyway, what do you make of this?
Listen, call me old-fashioned, but I like to be cut from a film once it's released in theaters. Okay? I like to have everybody watching a TV show where I'm supposed to be in it, and then I go, oh, nope. So I don't like this trend. I don't like this trend at all. And I understand that it is business. I understand that it's the entertainment industry, right? I understand this isn't art being made for the sake of art and everything. There is a bottom line here. But it is just so disheartening to see projects over and over again being written off like this for tax purposes. I'm not making those decisions, though, so I have the ability to be bummed out by it from that kind of, man, it's such a shame because anytime you make something, it's so hard, and I wish people got to get eyes on it. Because even if a movie is really bad, or even if a TV show is really subpar, people worked hard on it, and you do want to celebrate at least their efforts. But man, I also keep wondering why things are getting greenlit, why things are going through production, why things are going so far off from where they need to be and then being scrapped at the end here. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of just producer decisions, executive decisions, and then obviously showrunners and the people in charge of the actual production that are going really awry for this to keep happening.
And making a movie is
well, that's kind of the thing.
Are they like, oh, we just watched it at the end, we'll just watch it all together?
Yeah. Did you not look back at your footage? Are we keeping the lens cap on? What's happening?
You can't take my picture.
Yeah, just because.
A lot of movies get killed prior to starting shooting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little odd. Making a movie is so hard. But like anyone who has done, I've only done production on that end on like the short film level. And even that, you look back and you check out those dailies like Jonathan brought up. You look at all these things, you troubleshoot in the moment typically. You don't wait till the end. And that's the trend that I think is so odd, that we keep waiting till we're kind of screening it for people, or we've got everything in the can and then we get rid of it. It's just a little odd.
Well, see, what I think is happening here, because remember, we did that story a few weeks ago about the guy who got all the money from Netflix to make a movie, and years on, he just took the money. He just never made anything. What I think happened here is that with the drawn out post-production process, what I think ultimately happened here was that they kept going back to Netflix saying, oh, we need more money to finish the film. We need more money than we had planned or budgeted for to finish the film. And they just made the decision. No, we're not going to give you more money. We said how much we would spend on this movie, and we're not going to spend more. And so now the question will be, will somebody else pick it up? And I'm sure since Netflix has already put in money, it's not like the producers can just go and shop it somewhere else. Whoever picks it up is also going to have to pay Netflix a bunch of money because Netflix has already sunk a bunch of money into it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all turns out. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Factor. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery store and prep work because you know what? Sometimes we just don't feel like prepping our own meals. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Forget frantic lunch preps and rushed dinners. Factor's 2-minute meals are your secret weapon in the new year. Fuel up fast with restaurant-quality meals, all delivered right to your door. And Factor now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep me going no matter what's on the schedule. It's time to skip the overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. And Factor is flexible. Change your order up every week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. So guys, head to factormeals.com/Campea50 and use the code Campea50 to get 50% off. That's code Campea50 at factormeals.com/Campea50 to get 50% off. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.